This video was made in collaboration with Narutopedia. For more information, check out the link in the description. The Life of Black Zetsu from Naruto. Black Zetsu was the physical manifestation of Princess Kaguya Ōtsutsuki's will. It secretly instigated many of the events that shaped the Shinobi world to secure Kaguya's revival. To further its plans, it posed as Madara Uchiha's manifested will and then partnered with White Zetsu to become half of the Akatsuki members simply known as Zetsu. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Black Zetsu. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Background. Black Zetsu was created by Kaguya Ōtsutsuki shortly after she was sealed as the Ten Tails by her twin sons, Hagoromo and Hamura. In the anime, Black Zetsu would approach Indra alone periodically, goading him with praise and curiosity towards Indra's true potential, even going so far as to say he could rival if not surpass the Sage of Six Paths himself. When Hagoromo later named his younger son Asura as the new leader of Ninshu, Black Zetsu tempted Hagoromo's elder son Indra to go to war with his younger brother. It decided that Indra's descendants, the Uchiha, would be the main cast of the shinobi history it was creating, and also modified Hagoromo's tablet to claim that among other things, the infinite Tsukiyomi would be the Uchiha's salvation. Over the centuries, it manipulated the two brothers' reincarnations in an attempt to get one to awaken the Rinnegan, and also recorded many events for Kaguya, including Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senju's last fight at the Valley of the End. Sometime between Madara's death and his battle with Hashirama and the time-delayed Izanagi Madara used to resurrect himself, Black Zetsu found out where Madara's body was hidden and hid itself inside Madara's body. When Madara had seemingly created White Zetsu and its clone siblings, it was actually Black Zetsu pulling the transformed humans from Kaguya's infinite Tsukiyomi out of the demonic statue of the Outer Path, merging them with the essence of the Hashirama plant clone that Madara created to give them a diluted wood release. When Madara was on the verge of death, he believed he had created Black Zetsu by imbuing his will into half of White Zetsu, and that the complete Zetsu was partially his clone. In reality, it was Black Zetsu coming out of Madara's body after hiding inside of his body during his death. Zetsu later accompanied Obito Uchiha to Amegakure to locate Nagato, who had unknowingly been given Madara's Rinnegan as a child, and watched as Obito introduced himself as Madara Uchiha. Sasuke Recovery Mission. After Sasuke and Naruto's fight at the Valley of the End, Kakashi and Pakun appeared to bring Naruto back home. As the three begin the journey back home to Konoha, Zetsu appears from the ground, having witnessed the whole battle. Later, his silhouette appeared with the rest of the Akatsuki members, where they discussed Orochimaru taking Sasuke Uchiha, the capturing of the Nine Tails, and the furthering of their plans. Kazekage Rescue Mission. During the extraction of the One Tail, Zetsu is told by the Akatsuki leader to use his real body to use as a lookout, in which he identifies several enemies such as Team Guy, Team Kakashi, as well as Chiyo, who was with the latter. Later, he is sent to dispose the corpses of Mukade and Yura, finding Mukade a delicious meal. After Sasori and Deidara were defeated, Zetsu and Tobi were sent to retrieve their rings and dispose of their corpses. However, he was unable to eat Sasori due to him being a puppet, but was amazed to finally see what the real Sasori looked like. Tobi found Sasori's ring, wishing to take his place. Black Zetsu thought this was a bad idea, but White Zetsu thought otherwise, noting that Tobi was a good person. They later found Deidara's severed right arm and believed him dead until he arrived and proved them wrong. This also caused Black Zetsu to wonder why Deidara hadn't captured Naruto Uzumaki, to which Deidara replied that he had already fulfilled his quota either way. Akatsuki Suppression Mission. After Hidan and Kakuzu defeated Yugito Ni, Zetsu appeared to retrieve Yugito, and asked if Hidan was finished with his long-winded ritual. When Hidan claimed they were infidels, ignorant of prayers, Zetsu told them that when sad and alone, all one can count on is oneself. Kakuzu disagreed, stating that money was all one could count on. White Zetsu agreed that money was important. However, Black Zetsu stated finding the next one was much more important. Zetsu is later seen sealing the Two Tails. Itachi Pursuit Mission. After Deidara's death, Zetsu was sent to recover his body, with White Zetsu wondering what happened to Tobi. Black Zetsu mentioned that based on the damaged area, he was most likely caught up in Deidara's explosion. Later, when Pain had encouraged the organization to mourn Deidara's loss, White Zetsu took it on himself to mourn for Tobi's loss, while Black Zetsu thought such a notion was ridiculous. Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant. After Pain's fight with Jiraiya, Zetsu revealed himself to have been watching the whole battle. As Pain announced that he was going to capture the Nine Tails, White Zetsu said that it would be an interesting battle and wanted to go. However, Black Zetsu had another battle in mind, and they decided to watch Sasuke's battle with Itachi. Fated battle between brothers. Both halves spectated and commented on the battle, with Black Zetsu offering knowledge on various Sharingan abilities. When Itachi died, Zetsu noticed that Itachi shouldn't have been that weak, believing him to have already been afflicted prior to the battle. He later appeared near Tobi while he was engaged in combat with the 8-man squad to report to him the result of the fight. They then led Tobi to where Itachi and Sasuke were, with Black Zetsu confirming to Tobi that he had indeed recorded the fight. After a meeting with Taka and Kisame, Tobi met with Zetsu on a bridge where they discussed the fact that Itachi, who had been hampering their plans, was dead, and Zetsu lamented on the fact that so many Akatsuki members had died. Tobi said their deaths were worth it because Sasuke was in his hands now. Six Tails Unleashed. In the anime, Zetsu was present alongside the other Akatsuki members when they attracted the Six Tails from Urakata. Pain's Assault. Zetsu is present when Akatsuki begins sealing the 8 Tails, and when it's revealed that the Jinchūriki fooled Sasuke and replaced himself with a tentacle. White Zetsu flew into a hysterical laughter, which greatly annoyed Black Zetsu. Upon Nagato's death and Naruto returning to the village crowned as a hero, Zetsu revealed himself to have hidden inside a tree, watching the entire fight between them, hardly believing Pain to have been defeated, but decided to relay the information to Tobi. He then returns to Tobi and Kisame, reporting Nagato's death and betrayal, also mentioning that Konin wouldn't be returning either. 5 Kage Summit. Zetsu finds Tobi after the latter had encountered Taka, revealing that Konoha had already been destroyed and that Danzo had been named the acting Hokage. He then mentioned to Sasuke that Naruto had defeated Pain and was probably stronger than him. When Taka agreed to go to the Kage Summit, Zetsu split in half. White Zetsu proceeded to lead Sasuke and his team to the Kage Summit, while Black Zetsu remained behind and discussed with Tobi the fact that they might lose control over Sasuke, and would therefore lose their last chance to have someone sync with the demonic statue of the Outer Path. Tobi declared that he was tired of hiding and explained that they needed to speed up the Eye of the Moon plan. White Zetsu and Black Zetsu meet up at the site of Killer Bee and Kisame's battle, only to reveal that Kisame's decapitated body was actually one of White Zetsu's shape-shifting clones. It is then revealed that Kisame, by having the clone fake his death, was then able to infiltrate Kumogakure while inside Samehada, which was being carried back to Kumogakure by Killer Bee, who intended to use it as his own weapon. Black Zetsu then stated that it was their feeding time and that they should merge once again. 4th Shinobi World War. Countdown. At some point, Black Zetsu reveals the corpse of Madara Uchiha to Kabuto, allowing him to resurrect the famous Uchiha to use in the upcoming war. In the anime, Zetsu sees off Tobi before he made his journey to Amagakure to retrieve Nagato's Rinnegan. Upon Tobi's acquisition of the Rinnegan, Zetsu informed him that the scroll with the information that Kisame Hoshigaki sent through his messenger shark had arrived, also noting that everything seemed to be going in their favor. Zetsu later accompanies Tobi as she shows Kabuto around the mountain's graveyard, but questions if Tobi should really trust him. 4th Shinobi World War. Confrontation. Supervising Sasuke's recovery, Zetsu told him to be patient when asked if his bandages could be removed, remarking that when he did regain his sight, it would be to a different world. As the 4th Shinobi World War commenced, Black Zetsu and White Zetsu separate to carry out his assigned tasks. Before departing, Black Zetsu confirms to Tobi that White Zetsu's spores have been placed on Kabuto's body. Emerging from the ground near the daimyo's hideout, Black Zetsu infiltrated the structure despite alerting the enemy to his presence. However, upon discovering the daimyo's absence, Black Zetsu retreated and declared that they shouldn't underestimate his capabilities, as he was a part of the very land itself. Later locating his desired targets, he was instead obstructed by Mei Terumi and her squad. But sensing the 8 and 9 Tails chakra while confronting the team, he immediately communicated this to Tobi via White Zetsu. Told that the daimyo were no longer necessary with their quarry now in the open, Black Zetsu was ordered to continue with his guerrilla tactics against the Mizukage's team to keep them from regrouping with the rest of their forces. The fight continued throughout the night. Continuing to battle with Mei and her squad, Black Zetsu observed the arrival of Naruto's shadow clone to their location, who then proceeded to crash into a tree beside him. Growing roots from portions of his body whilst fighting, he used them to trip Naruto and avoid his Rasen Shuriken, only to be bisected from behind by the enlarged blade of Chojuro's Hiramekare. Immobilized, Black Zetsu wondered how the sword grew to such a size in an instant, and was then sliced in half and pinned to the ground by Chojuro's blade as the Mizukage departed. Having been reincarnated, Madara telepathically communicates with Black Zetsu, ordering him to keep watch on Obito until after his playing with the 5 Kage is done. Subsequently, Black Zetsu seeps into the ground, escaping. Birth of the 10 Tails Jinchūriki. With Obito weakened after the tailed beasts were extracted from him, Madara enacted his trump card. With this, Black Zetsu suddenly emerged from underground and restrained him. As he began to meld with the half of Obito's body, Madara was able to force Obito into using the outer path Samsara of Heavenly Life technique. Apologizing as all this unfolded, Black Zetsu noted that from the start this was his sole purpose for existing. With Madara's revival a success, Black Zetsu attempts to retrieve Madara's Rinnegan Eye from Obito until Minato and Kakashi intervene. Black Zetsu once more melds with Obito's body, using the Uchiha's body to battle his former team, and noting that his merger was the only thing keeping Obito alive. While both sides were at a stalemate, the demonic statue of the outer path emerged from Obito's artificial body, quickly being teleported. Afterwards, Black Zetsu again attempted to take the left Rinnegan. Obito, managing to resist Black Zetsu's control of his hand, told Kakashi to destroy the Rinnegan. Black Zetsu, realizing what the summoning of the demonic statue meant, informed his enemies that Madara had regained his right Rinnegan. Standing to face Minato and Kakashi in battle, Zetsu complained about the duo's stubbornness before Gaara arrived along with Sakura and a dying Naruto to their location. Black Zetsu managed to steal Kurama's yin half while Minato tried to transfer it into his son, thus becoming his Jinchūriki. Soon afterwards, Zetsu was joined by Madara, who complained about having to come all the way there. As Black Zetsu attempted to return to Madara, bringing with him Yin Kurama and Madara's missing eye, Obito overpowered him, keeping him merged to his body, and he spoke with and subsequently attacked the legend. As Kakashi and now Obito were determined to save Naruto, the two used their respective Kamui to send Naruto to the other dimension, and soon afterwards Obito as well. Once there, under watch of a skeptical Sakura, Obito proceeds to transfer Yin Kurama into Naruto. Later, after Madara managed to teleport himself using Obito's original Sharingan, which he took from Kakashi, he overpowered Obito and reclaimed his Rinnegan, allowing Black Zetsu to regain control over Obito's body. Madara also implanted Obito's original Sharingan back into his body in order for Black Zetsu to use its power. When Madara began casting the Infinite Tsukiyomi, Black Zetsu was unaffected. Kaguya Ōtsutsuki strikes. During the Infinite Tsukiyomi, Black Zetsu noted that the moonlight could not shine through Sasuke's Susanoo due to his Rinnegan. After the Genjutsu ended, Madara managed to confront Team 7 and prepared to eliminate them, but was stabbed from behind by Black Zetsu, who admonished a confused and shocked Madara for believing that he was any different than Obito, and that he himself couldn't be used. After a distraught and furious Madara stated that Black Zetsu was supposed to be his will, he declared that he is in reality the will of Kaguya. Following this declaration, Black Zetsu proceeded to spread all over Madara's body as the latter screamed in anguish, whilst forcing the chakra of the people caught in the Infinite Tsukiyomi out from the ground and having Madara absorb it, turning him into a gargantuan blob. When it was completely covered by Black Zetsu, Madara's body shrunk and changed, bringing forth the revived Kaguya in his place. Two incarnations of Black Zetsu once again re-emerged to absorb Naruto and Sasuke's chakra. While attached to their bodies, Black Zetsu shows and explains to them what he did to ensure Kaguya was revived. After he is completed, he attempts to return to Kaguya, but Naruto and Sasuke manage to regain control of their bodies and rip Black Zetsu off themselves, preventing him from absorbing any more chakra. He notes that Naruto and Sasuke are too rebellious and that they can't do anything to Kaguya. Nonetheless, the duo attack Kaguya and prove to be surprisingly effective in their coordinated strikes. It is then when Black Zetsu suggests to Kaguya that she separate the two in order to pick them off one by one. Kaguya complies with this by promptly sending Sasuke to another dimension. As Kaguya goes to deal with Naruto, the crafty ninja begins drawing aid from the tailed beasts within him, plowing through Kaguya's defenses and quickly overwhelming her with a massive army of shadow clones, calling it his own personal dimension. The princess quickly retreats through her portal, to which Naruto quickly follows through, as does Obito along with Sakura and Naruto's clone. While the shadow clone quickly disperses, Black Zetsu is shocked that Naruto could follow them to the base world of Kaguya's various dimensions. While Kaguya is determined to reclaim the massive chakra within Naruto, Black Zetsu points out that Naruto is too dangerous and should just take the easier route of killing him. Dismayed in agreeing, Kaguya then launches a jagged bone barrage on Naruto that impales him and starts to crumble. Kaguya then returns to the normal dimension only to find that Naruto's shadow clone army didn't disperse, as Black Zetsu realized that they were played, as the Naruto in the other dimension was also a clone. As Kaguya continued to destroy clones one at a time, Obito returned from Kaguya's dimension with Sasuke. Realizing the threat Naruto and Sasuke reunited posed, Kaguya shifted dimensions again to one of extreme gravity. As Naruto and Sasuke were pinned from the natural forest, Kakashi and Obito moved to shield the younger ninja from Kaguya's attack with their own bodies. Ultimately, only Obito was struck as he used Kamui to save Kakashi from his projectile. As Obito began to crumble away, Naruto desperately tried to save him with his Yang powers, to which Black Zetsu mocked his efforts as futile, noting further that Obito is a disgraced man who will never be forgiven for his actions. After Obito finally dispersed into dust, Black Zetsu openly expressed relief in Obito's passing. Angered by this, Naruto quickly attacked, severing Kaguya's left arm and Black Zetsu with it. Naruto then used 2 of his truth-seeking balls as rods to pin Black Zetsu down. As Naruto and Sasuke continued to pressure Kaguya, the Uzumaki bombarded Kaguya with 9 separate attacks imbued with each of the tailed beast's powers, respectively. While surviving the assault, Kaguya's body began breaking down, morphing into an amalgamation of the tailed beasts, speculated by Black Zetsu to be caused by the will of the tailed beasts reacting to Naruto. Kaguya's body then began producing several massive hands that attacked in every direction. As one of them approached Sakura, Kakashi, having inherited Obito's chakra and Sharingan powers from the departed spirit, intervenes and saves her with his newly awakened Susanoo, much to Black Zetsu's shock. Despite Black Zetsu's fears for its creator, Kage ultimately regained control and formed the tailed beast mass into a giant truth-seeking ball. As Team 7 prepared for quite possibly their final mission, they launched a group attack that, with well-coordinated efforts from their respective abilities, landed a decisive group blow on the princess, greatly surprising Black Zetsu. Ultimately, Kage reverts back into the demonic statue of the Outer Path before ejecting Madara and the tailed beasts, and begins to be resealed within the moon. As Black Zetsu resolved to wait for another opportunity to revive Kaguya and begin the process all over again, Naruto arrived, noting he had not forgotten about it, with Black Zetsu being left outraged at Naruto handling it, as it believed that Naruto was a part of the shinobi history it had created. Naruto retorted that said history was caused by the lives and deaths of many shinobi before calling Black Zetsu a snot-nosed brat too afraid to leave the nest, and that it should get over itself. Naruto then hurled Zetsu into the satellite along with its creator, leaving Black Zetsu trapped in the satellite forever, while also ironically granting Black Zetsu's long-desired wish of always wanting to be at its mother's side. Legacy. For all its misdeeds, Black Zetsu did have a silver lining to its legacy. When Kaguya was being reborn, Black Zetsu told Team 7 the true origins of the White Zetsu as people trapped in the previous Infinite Tsukiyomi to convert into soldiers. This made Sasuke suspect Kaguya was preparing for the arrival of a threat, which prompted him to use his Rinnegan to investigate Kaguya's dimensions, ultimately leading them to learning about the other members of the Ōtsutsuki clan and allowing the 5 great nations to prepare for their arrival. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.